information and answers that have been given have not been adequate for most people.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon unlike almost anything I've had to deal with. Let me just give the punchline. I want to be crystal clear about this. I said this in a press conference on Monday, and I want to repeat it today. And now we could say this based on the most sophisticated drone detection systems on the planet that started to arrive in New Jersey last Friday and Saturday. There is no public threat here, period. I could say that unequivocally. Now, the FAA today, I guess out of an abundance of caution, said no drones flying over any critical infrastructure.
We actually have a map that we can put up right now, Governor.
I think there are
22 towns.
Yep. I just got off the phone twice with the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security for America, Ali Mayorkas. This is out of an abundance of caution. In fact, they were asked to do this. Remember, there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of drones that are up in the air every day, that are commercial, that are hobby, that may be law enforcement, maybe military, and that includes in New Jersey. And I might also say, a month ago, there may have been suspicious activity. We did not have those sophisticated systems that we now have had for the past week, so I can have a level of certainty. And you've seen other states have this phenomenon in the past. Parts of, I won't get into the states because it's somewhat classified, but one state in particular, a year ago and 2 years ago, each had some suspicious, unexplained drone activity. It came and went. Might we have had that same activity a month ago? It's possible. We probably will never know because we did not have those sophisticated systems. But we do know now. I have a very, very, very high degree of confidence. Are we going to stay at it? You betcha. This has been 24/7. You never say never. Most of those sophisticated systems remain in New Jersey. But I want folks to know you should take a breath and know that you are safe. The part that should worry everybody out there is the vulnerability that we as a nation have to drone incursions.
That's certainly something Chris Smith was talking about, the congressman on the show last week.
It's a big issue. So we've got federal authority with this continuing resolution in Washington that theoretically could expire tomorrow. And then there's a bipartisan bill by Senators Peters and Johnson that would give states an enormous amount more authority. Right now, this is a federal game. They own the airspace. They have the sophisticated equipment. Colonel Pat Callahan's done a great job with the state police, but there's only so much they can do. The bigger takeaway here, and by the way, Eric, this is a benign wake-up call. Think of the tragic wake-up call that we got on 9/11 in terms of our defenses as a nation. Thank God on this and the lives lost by the thousands. Thank God on this, nobody's gotten hurt here. Nobody's gotten injured. Nobody's, thank God, passed. But we as a nation are vulnerable. We must address that. We must address it sooner than later, and New Jersey's not immune.
Governor, I want to talk about what you said about the FAA temporary ban. You're saying this was taken out of an abundance of caution. They cited special security concerns. So why not just say we're doing this out of an abundance of caution? Because just by saying special security concerns, it almost seems to contradict in some ways and leave it too much open to interpretation.
So the first reaction I had was, first of all, it took the feds too long to say anything. Then they started saying, which is the truth, that there's no public safety threat. This, I have to say, gives you the impression that there isn't, but. That's why I called Ali Mayorkas and I said, I need to know, is there anything that's happened here? And the answer is no.
PSEG also had requested the ban.
They did this based on requests. I don't know how many of the entities like PSEG that operates nuclear power plants in South Jersey. I'm not sure how many other entities asked for the coverage, but I want to reiterate, and this is based on sophisticated, world-class. One of these systems is on every naval ship we operate in the world to detect. In that case, they can mitigate drones, which we are not authorized to do inside the United States. Folks, we are safe. That doesn't mean drones aren't out there. That doesn't mean that we're going to give up. You never say never. I promise folks out there that, but trust me, based on all the evidence we have, this is public safety is in good hands.
You can understand why people still have doubts and they're skeptical. Last week, we saw the guidance that came out from the State Division of Fire Safety, and they put out a whole list for fire departments. And if you read each of them, they can be a little alarming. Whether it's don't approach a down drone, stay 330 feet back, wear your full PPE. But then you start reading more. Call your local law enforcement, FBI, the bomb squad, and it may impact your communications equipment. You start to put two and two together and start wondering, whoa.
Listen, I love our Department of Fire Safety. It's run by some great folks. I'm not sure I necessarily want to put that out, but we put guidance out all the time on things, and that they were getting, in fairness to them, they were getting inundated with questions. Hey, what happens if something comes down? By the way, nothing has come down. Nothing has come down. I think somebody's toy drone got stuck in a tree. But again, I cannot say this strongly enough. And I don't blame for 1 second people being wigged out about this. I get it. Early on, I was as well, trust me. And there was a lot of legitimate, there may be some folks out there who are jokers or who are trying to mess with us. Overwhelmingly, this is legitimate. I'm doing it myself. You're looking up, thinking you see something, right? And I get it. And I get also in the absence of if you don't have, it's like a math equation where there's no specific answer, people rightfully get unnerved. I think it's the job of public servants, including yours truly, to tell people the truth. I promise you I'm telling you the truth. We're holding nothing back. It's also, in a moment of uncertainty, creating hysteria like some of the mayors and others have done is just beyond irresponsible. Literally making stuff up. That's the last thing we need right now. We need calm, honest, fact-based leadership. We're doing everything we can to do that.
Mayor of Belleville actually had called you out in recent days for he said, skipping out on a meeting of 200 mayors.
He should be ashamed of himself. This guy tried to claim that there was radioactive materials that were being tracked down or taken by drones. He should be ashamed of himself. That's all I have to say about him.
Was there a reason that you weren't at that meeting?
Eric, there are 9.5 million people in this state.
It's true.
You know why I was at the meeting? I was on with the feds because guess what? The feds control the airspace. They have all the systems. I was begging them for 2 weeks to get those systems in New Jersey. I was doing what you would want me to be doing as your governor. His
point was, of course, that there were so many mayors, 200 mayors there, that they really wanted to see you in person.
Yeah, nice try. This is the same guy who made this crap up about radioactive materials. He should be ashamed of himself.